my girl. Up in the booth, making bangers, babe. Just how we do. Sipping on all the more. Baguette, ooh. What you mean? Need a rollie on your wrist, too. Talk to the hoe. I got my little shoulder, baby. She my little woldie. I'ma keep it going, baby. And that's on Brody. Know I got that shit up, baby. Going hold it.
Hey guys, what's going on? We're working on a 2018 Mustang GT. We're doing the VVT VCT Solenoid change. I was looking at YouTube and we don't have a lot of videos. Once again, right now we just removed the intake. We're removing all the lines for the fuel injectors, the coils, all of that good stuff. I'm not a professional in what I do, so look at the videos just for entertainment. Look at the video, enjoy it, and let's get into it. Guys, so these are the solenoids, so I'm gonna tell you off rip, I'll be really honest with you. The driver's side is to remove the valve cover is way more easier than that side. Since over there you have to worry about the fuel lines and the fuel rails for the direct injection. We're still removing that side, but I wanted to show you, if the guys that know the Gen 2 Coyotes from 2015 to 2017, it usually has two of them here. But for some apparent reason, the 2018 version, maybe because of the direct injection, I don't know, they decided to move one of the solenoids up here. I've heard that this one is the culprit for giving you issues. Whenever you're gonna change a sensor, I advise you to change all four of them so you don't open and then you're gonna have to remove. So let me show you the part numbers. The one for the front end, which is this one, the part number is, let me see here, right there. Right, and then for this back one over here, the part number, you see, which is right here, the part number is this one. Always check at fordparts.com. Typically each dealer has their own pricing, but they can always price match depending on the dealer you're at. So you change the valve covers, the gaskets, and then there's these two sections here that you're gonna have to put gasket maker again, right? And one of the reasons why, because it meets with the timing cover. So you always add a little dab here and a little dab there. So I'm gonna start changing these sensors. I'm gonna look right now at the Ford manual, what's the torque for these bolts, and from there we'll go. All right.
March got you already second guessing titles. April, spring's in just like a spring start to spiral. May bring some warmer days, poolside getting very tan. Showing how you moving ice cold, going back and forth with a married man. July, that's when I found out. July, August, it was baby this, baby that, like yeah, your tools tied. September, we falling off, but I'm still the main trying to win over. October is all about me, cause your
in this area, we have to worry about the injectors, the direct injector, the pump. We have to remove that. We have to remove the fuel lines. One thing I recommend you guys is the back seat. Remove it, disconnect the fuel pump, crank the car so the gas can circulate from the injectors, and so it doesn't, you know, spit out a lot of gas at you. Now, to make your life easier, because I'm gonna let you know now, to make your life easier, you have to remove the battery plastic, and the shield that it has for the battery. If you don't remove that, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to remove these bolts in the back. So once you remove that, you remove all these bolts around, they're 10 millimeter, and you just see the space here, you're not gonna have an issue with moving. I'm letting you know from now, it is a complicated part because you have these injectors, I mean, not the injectors, sorry, the fuel lines. But once that is removed, you guys will be able to do this. So just take your time, organize your bolts, and from there we'll go. Remember that we do have to remove the coils, right? One thing that I like doing is I number the coils, so I make sure that coil goes back exactly where it should go. It really doesn't matter, but I do it. So now you have space to work. All right, guys.
talk to him for me. When you touch on my skin, I feel the passion. I can't seem to function right. I don't know. When you touch on my skin, I
guys, so for this solenoid, there's two things that you have to remember. It has a little pin that basically hits the phasers to basically tell you timing, right? There's a pin that comes out. Make sure that pin, you put it inwards, so when you start the car, it's not outwards. It tells you in the Ford manual. As well, when you're putting this in, it's gonna have a little like rubber grommet. Make sure that doesn't fall inside the timing cover. As well, inside here in the solenoid, there's like a little pin that lets you sit the solenoid exactly where it needs to sit. So once you have those things, remember once again, the pin, make sure it's not sticking all the way out touching, put it in, and then make sure that it sits exactly where it needs to sit. All right, guys. So this is the valve cover. The valve cover, you always are supposed to wipe it down, clean it because it's full of oil, right? And you have two specific valve cover gaskets for right and for left. Remember that when you remove it from the timing cover, there's gonna be gasket maker on both ends. Logically, there's gonna be gasket maker on these both ends. So for it to like basically adhere right, you're supposed to remove it. So always make sure, wipe it down. You know, you don't have to be crazy with it. Wipe it down, clean it, make sure that if there's a little bit of dirt, you clean it. And then you clean the whole area. So when you put the new valve cover gasket, you don't have an issue. So these are the valve cover gasket part number. You can see it there?
Yeah.
There. And then there's this one as well. And you just, I can't remember off rip which one is which, but just compare it to the old one and then you'll be able to figure it out. So this is the finished product. Difficulty wise, it was like I would say like a 3 out of 10. If you know how to use, if you're handy with tools, if you've changed brakes before, if you've worked on vehicles before, then this shouldn't be that difficult. Now the only difficult part is the side of the fuel round. Remember, since it has direct injection, you're gonna have to remove, be aware that it's gonna leak gasoline, but just like I said before, remove the plug from the fuel pump, run it a bit, like start it so that the injectors are used. But other than that, it was simple. This car came in because it had an issue with the VCTs and VVT, where when you have it in normal, it shakes a little bit. Typically these cars do that. Since it is more sensitive, I recommend you guys, especially in the Gen 3 Coyotes, change the oil every 3,000 miles. Other than that, we're done with this car for today, and hopefully we make more videos, right? I'm not a professional.